In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable wheat pennies you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat cent is one of the most iconic and highly sought-after pennies in American numismatics. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1937 coin is part of the Wheat series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958 and features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The 1937 Lincoln penny was struck during the Great Depression, a period marked by economic hardship. Yet, despite the economic challenges of the time, the United States Mint continued to produce millions of these coins. This era of American history adds to the coin's mystique and collector interest, as it represents a time of great struggle and change in the country. At the heart of the 1937 Lincoln cent is the classic wheat design, which includes two stalks of wheat on the reverse side of the coin. The obverse features the right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays the phrase "E pluribus unum," along with 1 cent. The design was widely regarded for its elegance and simplicity, with the wheat motif on the reverse making it stand out from other coins produced at the time. The 1937 coin without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary mint facility at the time. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this particular penny was not produced in one of the branch mints, such as Denver or San Francisco. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent was produced in large quantities, with over 600 million coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Despite the high mintage, the coin's value is significantly influenced by its condition. Coins that are graded fine or higher tend to attract more interest from collectors, especially those in excellent condition. In today's market, a 1937 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition can fetch anywhere sold for $19,000, depending on factors like its overall wear and any unique characteristics. However, if the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or extra fine, the value can increase substantially, reaching values in the range of $23,000 or more. Though the 1937 Lincoln cent is primarily a well-known and widely circulated coin, collectors should be aware of some error varieties that can add even more value. For instance, the 1937 D double die obverse is a famous error, where the die struck the coin multiple times, creating a doubled image on the obverse. However, this error was exclusive to the Denver Mint and does not affect the Philadelphia-struck 1937 penny. Despite its high mintage, the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent remains a favorite among collectors, particularly those focusing on completing sets of Lincoln wheat pennies. The fact that it's part of the Wheat series, which ended in 1958, makes it a historic piece. The high demand for this coin in decent condition is largely driven by the number of collectors trying to complete a full collection of wheat pennies. Next up, the 1958 Lincoln wheat cent, which marks the final year of the Wheat series. By this time, the coin had undergone several design changes, and the Mint was preparing to transition to the Memorial Cent design, which would debut in 1959. The 1958 penny was one of the last of its kind, and because of that, it carries a sense of nostalgia and significance among collectors. The 1958 coin was produced against a backdrop of post-World War II prosperity. The United States had recovered from the devastation of the war and was experiencing a period of economic growth, which helped make the 1958 Lincoln cent a symbol of this brighter future. The design of the 1958 Lincoln penny is almost identical to that of its predecessors. The obverse shows the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse features the two stalks of wheat. The significant difference lies in the mint mark, which, in the case of this particular coin, is the D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The large date variety of the 1958 coin is particularly notable. This refers to the size of the numerals in the year 1958, which were larger compared to those on earlier pennies from the same year. This small design change has caused the coin to become a point of interest for collectors who seek to acquire the different varieties. In 1958, The United States Mint produced over 1 billion pennies, making it one of the highest mintage years for the Lincoln Wheat series. Specifically, the Denver Mint produced around 175 million of the 1958 D pennies. However, the value of these coins varies dramatically based on their condition. A 1958-D Lincoln Wheat penny in very fine condition typically sells for around $9,000. However, as the condition improves, whether it's in extra fine or even mint state, the price can escalate. High-grade examples of the 1958 D penny can fetch anywhere from $10,000 or more, especially if they show minimal wear and have been well preserved over the decades. While the 1958 penny is known for its large date variety, collectors should also be on the lookout for potential error coins. One such error is the 1958 DD over D variety, where the mint mark shows clear signs of doubling. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coins was misaligned during production, causing the mint mark to appear twice. This error variety is highly coveted and can command a premium in the marketplace, often pushing prices into the hundreds of dollars depending on the condition and severity of the doubling. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat cent holds a special place in the hearts of collectors because it marks the end of an era. For many, the 1958 D penny is one of the last major coins they need to complete their Wheat series collection. Its historical importance, combined with the various error varieties and high mintage, means it remains a popular choice for numismatists. Next up, the 1939 Lincoln Wheat cent, especially the version without a mint mark, holds an important place in U.S. numismatic history. Struck during the interwar years, the 1939 Lincoln Wheat cent was part of a series of coins that marked a period of economic recovery after the Great Depression. This era was pivotal in shaping the future of American coinage and currency, as the U.S. was slowly emerging from the economic hardship that had gripped the country for much of the 1930s. At the time, the U.S. Mint was still utilizing the classic wheat design, created by famed sculptor Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design had been in circulation since 1909, commemorating Abraham Lincoln's centennial birth year. It depicted the profile of the 16th President of the United States on the obverse with two stalks of wheat flanking the reverse. The wheat cent was a staple of American currency until it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959. The 1939 wheat cent is especially notable for being part of the last years before the transition to the memorial design, giving it a unique place in coin history. However, even though the 1939 coin seems relatively unremarkable when compared to other key dates in the Lincoln Wheat cent series, its value can be surprising, especially in good condition. The 1939 Lincoln Wheat cent was minted in large numbers, with a mintage of 284,080,000 coins at the Philadelphia Mint. This high production rate means that the coin isn't as rare as some other key dates in the series, but its historical significance and the condition of the coin play a large role in determining its value. In good condition, a 1939 Lincoln Wheat cent without a mint mark typically fetches between $67,000 depending on the auction and market conditions. However, the value can increase significantly depending on a variety of factors, such as the specific grading of the coin, any signs of wear or damage, and the overall demand from collectors. Even in good condition, this coin can surprise collectors with its demand, especially from those interested in completing a collection of Lincoln Wheat cents from every year. Design features and key characteristics. The obverse of the 1939 Lincoln Wheat cent features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right. The inscription reads, "Liberty to the left," and "In God we trust" above Lincoln's head, with the date 1939 appearing prominently below. On the reverse, the coin shows two stalks of wheat encircling the words "E pluribus unum" and "United States of America." At the bottom of the reverse, you will find the denomination 1 cent. In terms of design, there are no major changes to the 1939 version compared to its predecessors. However, it's worth noting that this coin, like all Lincoln Wheat cents, was struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The coin's diameter measures 19 millimeters, and its weight is approximately 3.11 grams. While the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent doesn't have as many famous error varieties as other years, collectors still pay close attention to coins in better grades, including those in good or very fine condition. Any signs of doubling or misstrikes can significantly increase the value of these coins. For example, if a 1939 cent has an unusual die crack or a notable minting error, it can potentially elevate its market value beyond the typical range for coins in good condition. Moreover, collector interest in this particular coin is strong because it marks a key moment in U.S. coinage history. It's one of the last years before the design change in 1959, and collectors who focus on the Lincoln series often seek out coins from this transitional period. While the coin isn't one of the rarest in the wheat cent series, its historical context and the popularity of the Lincoln cent design give it a steady place in the market. In recent years, the value of the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark has been on a steady increase, particularly in higher grades. As demand for well-preserved examples of classic coins continues to rise, coins in good condition can see substantial growth in value, especially if they are part of a larger collection of coins from this era. As of the most recent auction trends, the price range for a good condition 1939 Lincoln wheat cent has held steady between $90,000, but coins with notable errors, die cracks, or those that have been well preserved could see auction prices pushing upwards $100,000 depending on the buyer and auction house. Collectors seeking to acquire a 1939 Lincoln wheat cent in good condition can often find them available on auction sites like eBay or through local coin dealers. But buyers should always be cautious of overpaying for a coin that lacks distinctive features or errors. The availability of such coins is fairly high due to the large mintage, but the value lies in how well preserved the coin is and whether it has any unique qualities that could catch. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent is another fascinating piece in the series, especially the version with the D mint mark, which indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. The year 1944 holds significant historical context as it was during the middle of World War II. The U.S. was deeply involved in the war effort, and coin production was influenced by wartime needs. As a result, coins like the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent were minted in large numbers to meet the demands of the economy and support the military efforts. During this time, the United States had a shortage of metals such as copper, which led to the decision to use steel in coin production. However, by 1944, the U.S. had returned to using copper for the Lincoln cent, which led to the striking of millions of these coins. The 1944 cent was minted with 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, in contrast to the wartime steel cents that were produced in 1943. This return to copper marked a significant shift in U.S. coinage after the wartime shortages. The 1944 Lincoln wheat cent, with the D mint mark, had a mintage of 432,189,000 coins, making it one of the more common coins in the Lincoln wheat series. However, despite the high mintage, the coin remains a collector favorite, especially in higher grades like fine condition, where the coin exhibits clear design details and minimal wear. In fine condition, the market value of the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent with the D mint mark generally falls between $37,000 depending on the overall condition and demand at the time of auction. Coins in very fine or extremely fine condition can fetch even higher prices, ranging anywhere from $40,000. The 1944 Lincoln wheat cent follows the same design elements as the earlier issues in the series. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, surrounded by the words, "Liberty in God, we trust," and the date, 1944. On the reverse, the two stalks of wheat continue to encircle the words, United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, with the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. On coins minted at the Denver Mint, the D mint mark appears just to the right of the date on the obverse. This mint mark is important for collectors who are specifically interested in coins struck at particular mints. The mint mark helps distinguish the coin from other coins struck in Philadelphia, which did not have a mint mark, and from those struck at the San Francisco Mint, which had an S mint mark. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent with the D mint mark is most well known for its high mintage, but it has some noteworthy error varieties that attract collector interest. One of the most famous error types associated with this coin is the 1944 steel cent. Some coins from this year were accidentally struck with leftover steel planchets from the previous year, resulting in a rare error coin that is worth a premium. While these errors are extremely rare, they can significantly increase the value of the coin. Additionally, die cracks, double strikes, or even slight variations in minting can increase the desirability of a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent in fine condition. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln Wheat Cents are often willing to pay a premium for well-preserved examples with unique characteristics. Like the 1939 Lincoln Wheat Cent, the value of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent with the D mint mark has been steadily increasing in recent years. Although the coin is not as rare as some others in the series, collectors still place high value on obtaining a well-preserved example. As of recent market trends, prices for coins in fine condition can range from $50,000, but coins with unique features or in exceptional condition could see much higher auction results. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent is a highly collectible coin due to its historical significance, the high demand for coins from the wartime era, and the sheer number of collectors seeking to complete their Lincoln Wheat Cent collections. Next up, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Cent marks a key year in the history of U.S. coinage, as it falls within the golden age of the wheat penny era, which lasted from 1909 to 1958. The wheat cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, which gave the coin its iconic name. By 1940, the U.S. was still feeling the effects of the Great Depression, although the economy had begun to recover in the 1930s and 1940s. This recovery is reflected in the coin's modest but steady circulation. The year 1940 also saw the start of World War II, which would later have an impact on coinage, as the U.S. government began to adjust its minting policies in response to wartime needs. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not a key date in the series, but its mintage figures, condition, and specific characteristics, like the large date, have contributed to its desirability among collectors, especially in higher grades. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Cent features the familiar design by sculptor Victor David Brenner, who designed the obverse of the coin in 1909. The coin displays the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right. On the reverse side, the coin showcases two sheafs of wheat with the words E pluribus unum and United States of America encircling the design. The phrase 1 cent is prominently displayed in the center, indicating its value. In terms of minting design, the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Cent has no major variations, apart from the transition from the small date to the large date that collectors have found intriguing. The large date variety is characterized by the numerals in the year being larger and more spaced out compared to the smaller date used earlier in the decade. This slight variation has caught the interest of many coin enthusiasts and has led to some collectors seeking out the 1940 large date variety specifically. The mintage of the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Cent was a significant 1,092,255,000 coins. Despite this large number, the coin's value varies depending on its condition, which can range from heavily worn examples to those in pristine, uncirculated condition. In today's market, the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Cent, in good condition, which is defined by the presence of readable details but significant wear, is considered a more common find. However, for collectors and investors, the condition of the coin matters significantly. In good condition, the coin's value is typically lower than those in higher grades. As of 2025, the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Cent in good condition is generally valued at around $25,000 at auction. The price increases when the coin is in better condition, particularly those graded in very fine or extremely fine grades. For example, in fine condition, the coin can fetch around $30,000 if it is in higher grades like MS 63. Mint State 63, its value can jump to $55,000. The large date variety in particular has seen an increase in value in recent years due to the rarity of the minting error. While the large date itself does not constitute a major error, the rarity of this variation in specific conditions makes it desirable among collectors. While the 1940 Lincoln wheat cent does not have any significant varieties or errors like its counterparts from other years, the large date variety has piqued collector interest. The large date itself is a subtle but significant difference, and enthusiasts often focus on securing this variant for their collections. For the most part, collectors are particularly interested in coins that are graded higher and are free of visible damage. However, even good condition coins can hold value, especially if they are part of a larger, high-quality collection. Next up, the 1925 Lincoln wheat cent was struck during a period of great economic change for the United States. By the mid-1920s, the country was enjoying the economic prosperity of the Roaring Twenties, a time of technological advancement and cultural transformation. The United States had fully recovered from the effects of World War I, and the coinage system was experiencing steady output to match the growing economy. The 1925 Lincoln wheat cent was minted without any major political or historical shifts influencing the design or production. At this time, the wheat penny had been in circulation for over a decade, and its design remained largely unchanged, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait still the most prominent feature on the coin. The 1925 Lincoln wheat cent does not have any known design variations or significant errors. The primary focus of collectors is the coin's condition, rarity, and any potential die varieties that might exist within the mintage, though these are relatively minimal for the year. The 1925 Lincoln wheat cent had a mintage of 127,420,000 coins, making it a relatively common date in the wheat cent series. While not a key date, the 1925 coin has garnered attention due to its availability in various conditions and the overall interest in the Lincoln series. The value of a 1925 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition where the coin has visible details, but the high points of the design are worn can range from $68,000 in today's auction market. This price increases if the coin is in a higher grade, especially for very fine or extremely fine examples. At higher grades, like MS-64 or MS-65, the coin can reach values of $69,000 or more, especially for well-preserved examples that show little to no wear. Some of the better-preserved 1925 coins have sold for as much as $75,000 in specialized auctions. The 1925 Lincoln wheat cent doesn't have any major known errors, but its appeal to collectors lies mainly in its overall condition and rarity. Collectors are often looking for well-preserved coins, as the wear on these older coins is significant in the lower grades. For the 1925 penny, collectors may also focus on die varieties or any small differences that could make a coin stand out from others in the same year. However, the lack of significant errors in this particular coin, combined with its relatively common mintage, means that its appeal is primarily driven by condition and demand among those building full collections of Lincoln wheat pennies. Next up, the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny, a key date in the Lincoln cent series, holds a special place in the hearts of numismatists and collectors. This coin represents a moment in U.S. history where the design of the penny remained largely unchanged since its inception in 1909, but the times were still rapidly evolving. The 1938 large date penny, produced in good condition, is one of the most sought-after versions of this series, and its value has skyrocketed due to its rarity, condition, and unique place in American coinage history. In the 1930s, America was still recovering from the Great Depression, which lasted from 1929 until the early 1940s. The economic struggles of this era were reflected in the production of coins, with many U.S. mints struggling to meet demand. Despite this, 1938 marked a period of economic recovery as President Franklin D. Roosevelt began his New Deal initiatives. The 1938 Lincoln penny is part of the ongoing legacy of the penny design that was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. In terms of design, the Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 by the U.S. Mint, with sculptor Victor David Brenner's iconic depiction of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse side showcased 2 ears of wheat, which was symbolic of the nation's agricultural roots. However, the economic and political landscape of the 1930s had a direct influence on coin production and overall public interest in money. Coins from this era were heavily circulated due to the economic pressures, leading to wear and tear over time. The 1938 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, was struck in significant numbers. It was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary production site for most pennies in circulation. With a total mintage of approximately 205 million, the 1938 Lincoln penny was not particularly rare in terms of overall quantity, but the value for coins in high-quality condition, such as those in good and fine grades, has grown considerably. However, over time, the number of these coins remaining in excellent or good condition has dwindled significantly due to wear, damage, and high circulation. For this reason, the value of a 1938 Lincoln penny in good condition has increased over the years, especially as demand from collectors has risen. Coins in very fine or higher grades can fetch even more significant prices, with rare examples of these coins bringing in thousands of dollars at auctions and through private sales. The design of the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny remains one of the most enduring symbols in American coinage. The obverse features a right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscription, "Liberty and the year 1938" at the bottom. Above the bust is the motto, INGODWETRUST, a reflection of the nation's strong religious foundations during the time. This design symbolizes the agricultural roots of the United States, as well as the value of hard work and self-reliance during the 19th and early 20th centuries. While the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny is generally known for its standard design, the coin has attracted a great deal of attention due to its unique characteristics and minor variations. One of the notable errors on some 1938 coins is the misalignment of the minting die, which can cause slight variations in the size and shape of the lettering or the overall coin. For collectors, the 1938 penny is considered a valuable addition to their collections due to its historical significance, iconic design, and relative scarcity in high-grade conditions. The coin is a part of the broader Lincoln series, which has long been a favorite among collectors. Over time, demand for higher-quality 1938 pennies has increased as collectors look to complete their collections or invest in rare coins. The 1938 Lincoln penny in good condition, especially one that has been well preserved, can fetch a premium in the market. In today's auction market, the value of a 1938 Lincoln wheat penny can range anywhere sold for $58,000 in good condition, depending on the quality and specific characteristics of the coin. For those who are looking to purchase one of these coins, it is always important to verify authenticity and condition before making a purchase. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And as always, keep hunting for those rare treasures.